In this video, we're going to take a closer look at the Mira Safety P3 Particle Max virus filter. That's right, this particular virus filter is specifically designed for handling pandemic and biological threats. It's designed to work in conjunction with a full-face gas mask, such as the Mira Safety CM6M gas mask, which I did a review of the previous year. During that review, we featured a different filter, which is a CBRN filter. This is the NBC77 SOF filter that's for CBRN events. So this is a little bit overkill for a virus, such as the one that's currently going on right now. What you really need to have is a particle filter, because you want to filter out particles from getting into your system, similar to what you have with the N95 mask. The problem with these particular masks is that they're just a half-face mask. Sometimes the seal's a little bit rough to get a proper seal on there, and then you still have the risk of contaminating yourself by touching your eyes. With a full-face gas mask, you don't have that problem. It's going to have a really good seal, especially if you shave your beard, and then you also won't be able to touch your eyes like you would with a half-face mask or an N95 mask. So there's a lot to cover in this video. This particular Particle Max filter comes in a 6-pack, so you get 6 of them for the cost of $150. So each one of these filters is around $25. So what we're going to do, there's a lot to cover. We're going to go into the specs of this, talk about some technical details, we'll talk about particles, we'll talk about viruses, we'll talk about what all these little numbers and letters on the side of it mean. We're going to do some demo scenarios. We're going to do some decontamination shower demos. We're going to do a particle demo. I'm even going to start dissecting a few of these filters so we could see what's inside. So there's a lot to cover in this video. This one's going to feature the Mira Safety P3 Particle Max virus filter. Let's get started. If you happen to stumble upon this video and you're new to this channel, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Cliff, otherwise known as the Urban Prepper, and I cover a wide range of emergency preparedness topics in addition to product reviews. My overall theme is that I try to keep things fairly organized, family-friendly, and practical, and that lend themselves more towards people that live in an urban environment. So if you like those type of videos, you'll probably like my channel. So let's get right down to it. Let's talk about the Particle Max P3 virus filter. Let's start out first by going over the specs. The Particle Max virus filter features 40mm NATO filter standard threading and offers P3 certified protection, which is a European standard. So again, this filter isn't the same as that NBC77 SOF filter, which is designed for CBRN events like mustard gas or something like this. This particular filter does filter out 99.9999% of biothreats, such as Ebola, coronavirus, and H1N1. It does have the same diameter as the NBC77 SOF, but it is much lighter. It weighs in at 100 grams or 3.5 ounces. This one features a high-quality ULPA filter, which stands for ultra-low penetration air, which filters out particles as small as 0.2 microns in size. The Particle Max filter features an awesome 20-year shelf life. When you get it, it's wrapped in plastic, and it even includes an expiration date. For example, on my filters, they have an expiration date of February of the year 2040. By that point, I'll be an old man, but maybe I'll still be making emergency preparedness videos. The filter paper itself is hydrophobic, so it works really great for decontamination showers. You could pour water directly into the filter and it's not going to go through that filter paper because it is hydrophobic. The paper itself has a phobia of water, so feel free to get sprayed down with water while wearing a mask with these particular filters on it. So again, with that ULPA filter construction, the Particle Max P3 will filter down to 0.2 microns in size. Now initially, some people have a concern with that because viruses are much smaller than that. They could be anywhere between 0.004 to 0.1 microns in size. But the ultimate goal of a virus filter is to capture the particles that would host the virus, not the virus itself. Let's do a quick little demo scenario to explain this a little bit more. So in layman's terms, this is a virus. It's very, very tiny. This is a particle. It's still very, very tiny, but a lot larger than a virus. Viruses just don't like floating around like this. Viruses like to stick on to a particle and they float around like this. And so the goal of your filter is to block out the particles from getting inside into your lungs and your airway. So for the sake of this demo, we're just going to say that this right here, this is our virus right there, connected to the particle. So filters are designed to not let particles get through the smallest opening of that filter, kind of like a basketball going through a basketball hoop. So what the filter is really doing is making sure that large particles with a little virus stuck on it is not getting through the basketball hoop. So the P3 filter makes sure that tiny little viruses can't ride on to a particle to sneak into your system. So again, let's run down to what ULPA filter construction is. We're all probably familiar with the term HEPA filter, which stands for High Efficiency Particulate Air. It's a filter used commonly in vacuum cleaners and even in Tesla vehicles. ULPA stands for Ultra Low Penetration Air and is used in most modern clean rooms. It's a notch better than HEPA filtration. A HEPA filter has an efficiency of 99.97% at 0.3 microns. However, an ULPA filter can remove from the air at least 99.999% of dust, pollen, mold, bacteria, and any airborne particles with a minimum particle size of 0.12 microns. But Mira Safety's official statement is that it utilizes some of the highest quality ULPA filter construction that works on particles as small as 0.2 microns. So that's what this one is. Mira Safety specifically states that since the filter is hydrophobic, you could wear your mask in a decontamination shower without compromising your safety. So let's do a quick little demo scenario on that particular topic. The Particle Max filter is designed to be used with decontamination showers. So for this particular segment of the video, we have my assistant, Kid Prepper. He's going to be showering me down while wearing the mask, and hopefully no water gets in as I'm trying to breathe. So let's get started now with the decontamination shower. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh.
Hey, it's in my face!
And that wraps up this decontamination shower demo. No water got in through the filters. Most people do not have a decontamination shower, so that leads to the question on how you remove the mask without getting contaminated. Well, the process of removing personal protective equipment is called doffing, which actually requires special training. While you could read up on a lot of resources online, it's best to take an in-person class to learn about doffing and to be able to remove the mask safely. Now let's do a breakdown of all of the little markings that you see on the side of this virus filter and explain what they represent. The letter P means that it's particles, and 3 is the grade for this particular particle filter, and then R means that it's reusable. The next few markings all start with EN, which represents for the European standard. This particular filter, in addition to the Mira Safety CM6M gas mask, are not NIOSH approved. However, they are compliant with European standards. The marking EN143/A1 represents particulate filters. This European standard specifies the particulate filters that are used as components of devices with unassisted breathing. Some of these type of filters could also be used with other types of respiratory protection. The next marking, EN12941/A2, the European standard specifies the minimum requirements required for filtering breathing apparatus incorporating a helmet or hood and anti-gas, particle, or combination filters used as respirators. The next marking, EN12942/A2, this particular standard represents the European standard that specifies the minimum requirements of assisted breathing filtering devices with full face mask, half masks, and quarter masks, and anti-gas, particulate, and combination filters used as respirators. Again, this one works with the Mira Safety CM6M gas mask, so that's what this one represents. The marking EN148-1 represents the European standard that applies to the standard threads of respirators. Again, this one is a 40mm NATO threading, so that's what this is. Then the bottom section lists TH3/TM3 PRSL-RD 40x1/7 inches. The part that reads TH3/TM3 is related to the European standard 12941. There are 3 protection classes of this particular standard: TH1, TH2, and TH3. From what I have researched, it would be unwise to consider anything less than TH3 or TM3 respirators for bacteria and viruses. Again, P stands for particulate, R, reusable. SL is a marking that's very commonly seen with other filtration options, and it stands for side loading. RD is round, so it's a round filter. And then the last part, the 40x1 section, represents the threading. Again, this one features standard 40mm NATO threading. So what all this stuff basically means is that the P3 Particle Max filter provides the maximum protection for pandemic and biological events that you could get. The ULPA filtration technology is the same one that are used in clean rooms. The grade 16 filter paper results in a MERV rating of 20, which is the highest attainable for air filtration quality. Basically, this is top of the line for virus filtration. Now we're going to test the P3 Particle Max inside of this isolation chamber. So I'm going to be putting on the mask, going inside of the isolation chamber, and then we're going to use this Ego blower with some baking flour, and we're going to blow all the flour in there while I'm wearing the mask. Hopefully I'll be able to breathe while the flour is still blowing in there. I have a GoPro set up, and we're going to use Kid Prepper as my assistant. So let's get started now with this flour test. In a true emergency situation, I'd have to shave off my beard to get a proper seal with the Mira Safety mask. I'm not going to be shaving off my beard for this particular review video, so it's not going to be an ideal seal, but I think it'll still do the job. So let's get started now with this demo test with the flower.
All right, here we go with the flower test. I want you to win. We'll win. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, coming up.
I want to watch Daddy. Look at
And that's how you do the flower test.
so.
So while my buddy's completely covered in flour right now, the filters did a great job of filtering out that flour. It didn't inhale any kind of flour, and the mask did a good job too, just with the overall seal. So I think the particle filters worked pretty good for this test. Now let's move on to the next portion of this review, featuring the P3 Particle Max filters.
Now I'd like to dissect one of these virus filters so we can see exactly what's inside of it. I'm also going to dissect one of the NBC77 SOF filters, which is a CBRN filter, and then we can compare the two once they're opened up. So let's open them up now. All right, here's what the Particle Max filter looks like when it's dissected. So again, you open it up and you have basically a sheet of paper that's going to the part that connects to your gas mask. And then here's that OPA filter that we see on the inside. It's basically identical to what we saw in the NBC77 SOF. They're about the same size, looks like the exact same filter. This one has a little bit more wear and tear in it because I've had it for a little bit longer. But other than that, it looks almost identical to each other. So you could probably even take the SOF 77 filter and put it right into the Particle Max and it would nest just like that, as you can see. And here's the original one. The Particle Max is a $25 filter. So this NBC77 SOF has this additional carbon layer that you see here. I have it in a bag because I don't want the carbon spilling out all over the place. But when you open it up, it basically has this kind of looks like almost like a honeycomb design over here. And that's holding all the charcoal into place. And then this particular portion is the part that goes into the gas mask. So if I were to open this up even wider, all the charcoal would just spill out all over the table. So that's the main difference between the Particle Max and the NBC77 SOF. With this particular one, it's a CBRN filter, so you need to have that charcoal for filtering out all of the various CBRN agents like mustard gas and things like that. That's where this comes to play. That's why it's a lot more expensive. So they're basically the same filter when it comes to the first stage of the filtration process. So when you're breathing in the air, it's going to be going through this OPA filtration on both of these particular filters. With the SOF, it's going through an additional layer of filtration for CBRN agents. So for things like mustard gas, even like pepper spray and stuff like that, that's where the charcoal comes into play. You don't have that with the Particle Max filter. It's just filtering out the particles. And that wraps up this dissection of the Particle Max filter. That's going to do it for this product review of the Mira Safety Particle Max P3 virus filter. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching it. In summary, if you want to have maximum protection against pandemics and biological threats, you should get yourself a gas mask such as the CM6M gas mask that is made by Mira Safety, and also pick up a few of these Particle Max virus filters for pandemic events like what's currently going on. When used in conjunction with a high quality gas mask, you're basically getting the highest grade protection that you could get for pandemic events. You're protecting your airways, and you're also protecting your eyes from being contaminated. Again, these filters come in a 6-pack, and each one of them are individually wrapped with a 20-year shelf life. It costs $150 for that 6-pack, so it's $25 per filter. I think that's a fair price for the quality that you're getting for virus filtration. For those of you already familiar with my channel, you know that I have these Mira Safety gas masks for each member of my family. They also come in kids sizes. As soon as I heard about the Particle Max virus filter coming out, I purchased a 6-pack for each member of my family, which has a total retail price of $600, which is a little bit expensive, but I feel that my family's worth it. Ideally, you would put on a new Particle Max virus filter on each day of use, which would get a little expensive after a while. You'd go through all 6 of them in less than a week. What I'm planning on doing is numbering each one of the filters for each member of the family and just cycling through that rotation. And if I needed to expand it out to multiple days, I would, maybe even up to a week. After all, these filters have a 20-year shelf life. They don't really expire like a carbon filter would because the carbon's constantly sucking out elements from the air. You're not getting that with these Particle Max filters. It's basically like your vacuum cleaner. When your vacuum stops sucking, basically, then you have to change out the filter. The same kind of goes with this. So what I'm planning on doing is just rotating them out through a cycle as needed. Again, I've provided links in the description box below for the Mira Safety Particle Max P3 virus filters, in addition to the gas mask too. Please leave your comments below in the comments section regarding this video. Again, I hope that you guys enjoyed watching it, and stay tuned for more videos. Stay safe, everyone.